Hey students, in this video I'm going to go over the problems on the left side of the review. Hopefully they help you review and prepare for the test. Alright, so this first problem, it's already graphed here, but I just wanted to go over the options you have where you check if your inequalities are in the form of y equals mx plus b. If they are in the form of y equals mx plus b, you can just plot the b value right away, the y-intercept, and then move with your slope, your rise over run, to plot more points. So for example, this is -3 and the slope is 2. So the slope becomes a fraction of 2 over 1. So you're going to rise 2 and run 1, rise 2 and run 1. And you keep going with that pattern until you find more points to create a line. Then you have to decide whether to have a dashed or solid line. So once again, use your notes from previous papers in our notes where it shows you what kind of line to have. So if it's equal to, it's always solid. If it's without the equal to, it's dashed. This is a greater than. That means we are shading above that line. So what's here in red, it's that first one. And then what's in blue, it's that second one, starting at y-intercept of 1. And the rise over run is rise 1, run 3, rise 1, run 3, or down 1 and left 3. This is a solid line, it's shaded below. It creates that double shaded area highlighted right there. I also want to point out that you do have the option of using the calculator. So if you don't want to graph this by hand, you can always type it in the calculator. Actually not here, it has to be in the graph. So you might have the option of just clicking one of these or just always go to relation and just type it. So you type the inequality, which is greater than 2x plus 3 minus 3. So that's the first one, the one that we have here in red. And then tab to open the next one, and then we'll have y control equals and less than or equal to. To type a fraction is control divide, 1/3 x plus 1. Alright, so this is the electronic version of the sketch that we have here with the double shaded area right there. Now, if you run into the part where you don't know how to graph this on the paper, remember you have to go to menu and you go to trace, graph trace, and you're going to trace the points on the line. So the only thing that this can do for you is just tell you where the points on the line are and also where to shade. It does show slightly whether it's dotted or dashed. I'm sorry, solid or dotted or dashed. You can exit out of trace and then just kind of go over it with the cursor, and then there's the dotted or the solid. So it's pretty obvious when it's bolded, but it's not when it's not bolded. So again, if you trace, it gives you the y-intercept right away. And if you go left and right, it's not going to give you exact points. You have to type values. So it's typing x values, and it's taking you directly to the points. You could literally type 100 and it'll take you to the point when x is 100. But again, it's just a matter of you understanding what this typing part is for. So I'm just going to leave it here at -3 so we can have a better view. Or at 6. Yeah, that's better. All right, so if you are moving along the line, the blue line, just find 2 points. 2 points are enough to find the pattern of rise over run. But hopefully, again, you practice using the calculator enough times to just, again, trace points, go up and down to go from one to the other. And again, just type those values that you want to get to. So you don't want to type a decimal. You want to have a whole number, like 3-2, and then that just confirms that one of the lines is at 3-2. Okay, so let's look at the next option. This one is now 3 inequalities. So if we graph those 3, I noticed some students wanted to rewrite the inequality. You don't have to if you use the calculator. So let me clear that. and then graph it again. So like this one is going to be x inequality greater than or equal to -2. I didn't type it. All right, so then that tells you that you have a vertical line shaded to the right and it's solid. Notice here how I have this red line, vertical line, touching at -2. And if you want to verify where the line's touching, you can always trace. So -2, 0. And if I go to another point, they're all with the x value of -2. And then we can type another one by pressing tab. So less than or equal to x plus 5. And then to put that on the paper, you will trace. So this is still in blue, so I'm going to press down to get to the red. So 3, 8 is a point. 3, 8. And then if I go to the left, it's going to give me decimals, so I don't want that. 2, enter. 2, 7. 1, 6. 0, 5. So you can plot all those points individually or just plot enough to realize that the rise over run is 1/1 to plot more points. All right, and then it's shaded down and it's solid. So shaded down and solid. All right, and the last one, it's a standard form. And again, if you're in relation, you could just type it. But if you're doing this by hand, then of course you have to rewrite it into y equals mx plus b. Okay, so this is what the other one looks like coming down across. If you want to do it by hand, like I said, it's move the x to the other side, divide by the number next to y, and then flip the symbol if it's divided by a negative. So here, this black line is following this bottom line that is dashed right here. And again, we can trace it. And we don't want red, we want black. So I'm going to press down until I see black. So 0, -1 is this one right here. And then I'm going to type another point, look for a whole number. So 2, 0 is another point. And then pretty much once you have enough points to plot a rise over run, you're able to plot the others. So that's dashed. And then as far as where to shade, this tells you to shade below the line. And these problems are just asking you which one of the following is a solution. The solution will be found in the double shaded area or solid line. So these other points are not on it. And then this letter D was on the line, but it was a dashed line. This other one, A, B, D are not at all in the double shaded area. Only C is in the double shaded area. All right, the next part of the review is checking for a solution without, I guess, graphing, just plugging in values. So you can individually plug in each value, x comma y. X goes in there, y goes in there. So this section right here is checking for letter A. We have 5 in the x, a 0 on the y for each inequality. And the second one, 10 plus 0 is not greater than 12, so that doesn't work. So this solution does not work for that inequality set or system. Then we check the next one, which is 10 and -1. I plugged in 10 and -1 on x and y accordingly. And all 3 inequalities checked, where 20 minus 5 is 15. 15 is less than or equal to 25. 20 minus 1 is 19. 19 is greater than 12. And then 10 is greater than or equal to 1. So all of those were checks. I showed the examples of how C and D don't work just to justify why C and D don't work. But if you can justify why that one does work, I'll take that as justification. So hopefully that helps you verify how solutions are solutions. The next part of this review is asking you to write the system of inequalities from the graph. So it's pretty much reversing the process that you did here of graphing by hand. So that's why it's important to have the skills of graphing by hand, because you still want to be able to do this also, like how to look at the graph and analyze it, where the y-intercept is right here, and then there's another point right here, and you want to just find the rise over run ratio from one point to another, and then just put it as your slope. So one thing to remember is horizontal lines will not have a slope, so it's just going to be y and then the number, and it's you writing if it's less than or greater than or equal to. So this, for example, dashed line is shaded below, so it's less than. It's a horizontal line touching at 3, so its y is less than 3. This triangle one is showing a solid and is shaded above. That -1, the y-intercept, it's above. That means we have greater than or equal to. This is touching at -1 for the y-intercept, and it's a rise over run ratio of -2/1. And that's how we get -2x minus 1. The next part is touching at -5 down here. And from one point to another, it looks like it's rising 3 and running 2. So rise 3, run 2, rise 3, run 2. And it's solid and above. So once again, that inequality symbol. The next one repeats the process of that, which is just staring at it and analyzing it. Vertical lines are going to be written as x equals, in this case inequalities instead of equals. And then where is it touching on -3? And then it's solid and to the left of -3, which is all the values that are less than -3. So less than or equal to. And then you have a graph touching at 0. And to get to another point, it has a rise over run of rise 2, run 3. And then you can double check by going backwards. Down 2, left 3, down 2, left 3. So that's 2/3 up, positive 2/3. 0 y-intercept, so we don't need to add plus 0. And it's dashed and shaded above, so greater than. And then the last one we have touching at 2, going down, so it's a negative slope. From one point to another, you go down 3 and across 1. And that results in a slope of -3 and y-intercept of 2. Solid, and then it's shaded not up here, but down here, because this is a triple shaded area. So it's below. So solid and below will be less than or equal to. All right, the word problems is the last thing to go over. And these word problems require you to just read carefully, look for keywords. Surf shop makes $150 per surfboard, sold X, and 100 per wakeboard, sold Y. The shop owner can make no more than 50 boards per month, and he wants to make at least $3,000 a month. So the amount, the no more than 50, is just saying that the combination of X plus Y has to be less than or equal to 50, because there's no more than 50 per month. Then he wants at least 3,000, which means he wants more, or the 3,000, so greater than or equal to. And then how much money is made per item accordingly. And then the last one here, we have Maria is making a gift bag that includes pencils and erasers. Pencils cost 50 cents each. Erasers cost 75 cents each. She can spend no more than $60 and wants to purchase at least 80 items. And she also needs to have more erasers than pencils. So 3 things are being described. The no more than $60 means she cannot spend more than $60, but she can spend up to $60. So less than or equal to. And then because it's money related, then we gotta put money amounts into each variable. So how much money was spent for each. The next one is the items, at least 80 items in total. So at least meaning more, or at least the 80. So greater than or equal to the amounts added together. The last part, saying that she needs more erasers and pencils, is just simply stating that the y value has to be greater than the x because she wants more erasers than pencils. All right, hope this video helps you understand a little better the topic of inequalities.